Welcome back to the pre-show. My name is Stein.
My name is the one and only X.
My name is the Ultra Sheeplord.
And I am Mystery Twins.
And we're going to get straight into each team, starting off with the Red Rabbits, consisting of Tommy Innit, CPK, Crank Gameplays, and Shovel. This is a team that should focus PvP and movement. They have lots of potential in parkour tag to get to the other side, and could also do well in survival games or Sky Battle.
Quig, Martin, Eret, and Finster make up the Orange Ocelots, a solid team which are likely to perform well in a wide variety of games. Though they may want to look for a late Ace Race or Sands of Time, this team definitely has many paths to make it to Dodgebolt.
A wise man once told me not to cry over spilt milk. Instead, cry for the other 9 teams that will have to face the Yellow Yaks in any PvP games, with Sapnap, George Not Found, Elena EXE, and V Gumio. The Yellow Yaks are statistically the best in every single PvP game and a strong contender for victory. Let us pray for good luck in the Decision Dome and for the milk carton to not hit our toes.
The Lime Llamas featured a very hyped up duo of Illumina and Good Times with Scar, joined by friends Cubfan and Solidarity Gaming. This team should be expected to dominate in team games, not only due to the chemistry between the players, but also Illumina's abilities as a leader. However, this team will need Illumina to do a good job winning in PvP, as that may be the category they try to play early.
Next, the Green Geckos include Dream, Foolish, Tina Kitten, and Connor Esports. The team isn't great on paper, but Foolish has shown a lot of potential in MCC Pride, and Dream has proven himself to be a capable leader. If they can get a late parkour tag, they could possibly sneak into a high placement.
After an impressive performance back in MCC 22 from JoJo, her quest to become an adopted hermit has finally begun, teaming with both False and Pearl alongside Scott on the Cyan Coyotes. Buildmart is where this team really shines, though don't count them out in Hole in the Wall or Rocket Spleef Rush.
Meanwhile, in Aqua, we have a team of Puns, Bad Boy Halo, Sylvie, and Snifferish. The Aqua Axolotls this event is one of those teams where all players have never teamed before, leading to new, exciting combinations. For games, the stats forecast them to have a good SG, skills which could transfer to wider success if they play their cards right.
Following his first ever win, Captain Sparkles returns to once again play with Kara Corvus, also being joined by Sneak Snag and SP737. While these players don't have too much experience playing together, one thing they have in common is movement skills, with Ace Race and Parkour Tag being some of their best games. If they can save the movement games for last, they could be an underdog to watch out for in this event.
The Purple Pandas bring us one of the most awaited duos in Season 2. G Nelly and Smallish Beans, joined of course by Petezahhutt and Philza. This team is practically designed to dominate Rocket Spleef, and movement in general is good for them, but they could be held back by a late Sky Battle or Grid Runners.
And finally, we have the Pink Parrots. Aimsy makes his canon debut alongside Rambu, Wilbur, and Blushy. If Aimsy is able to replicate the MCC Pride 22 performance, this team could definitely surprise some people and make it all the way through to Dodgebolt.
And now that we've gone through all the teams, let's head over to This or That.
Welcome to This or That, the only segment where we pick this or that.
Alright, so we're going to look at a few prompts and decide which one we think is more likely. The first prompt we have here, will Sapnap or Illumina get a higher individual placement? See, I have a feeling that Sapnap is going to come in big here. He tends to do well when he's teamed with his friend George to have a really good performance this event. He's been doing great in recent events. He's in a really good position to do well here, and I think he's just going to go crazy.
I'm gonna have to agree with you here. I feel like Sapnap's on a stronger team this time, and plus the team's specifically good at PvP games, which can get crazy individual, as demonstrated in past events. Next question. Will Sky Battle be played or not? Personally, I don't feel like it will be played, but not at the fall of contestants, but I just feel like it's Sky Battle's time to be rotated out. I just have that feeling.
I would be absolutely heartbroken if Sky Battle was not played in this event. I love me some Sky Battle. It's one of my favorite games in MCC, if not my favorite. So I have to say yes. I would be betraying myself if I said no, that Sky Battle wouldn't be played. And let's just go to the next prompt. All right, will Aimsy or Blushy get a higher individual placement? Well, based on what I've seen, I think Aimsy's just been doing a little bit better recently, at least in their last event. They got a pretty good amount of coins. Blushy didn't do quite as good in her most recent event, so I just have a better feeling about Aimsy for this one.
I'm going to be contrarian and be opposite to you and say that the one thing I remember about Blushy is the massive extension. and extension means more. So it is very clear that Bashi will get more points and place higher individual. Next prompt. Will Pete or Phil score more in Rocket Spleef Rush? Personally, I feel like it will be Philza Minecraft. Because God, I just love Philza Minecraft. He strides across the battlefield in such an ethereal manner.
Fairly good argument, but I think I'm going to have to go with Pizza Hut on this one. I feel like Pete has just consistently done really well ever since Rocket Spleef Rush became a thing, especially on the final map, the Journey map. Pete just dominates that one and has always done well. And Pete just loves Rocket Spleef Rush so much. I feel like it's just, he's destined to get another first individual. Our final prompt for this. Will JoJo Solos get top 5? Or will she not get top 5? Oof, I really think there are a set of like 6 players that could realistically get top 5, and JoJo is one of those players. So it's just a question of, will she be the 6th place player, or will she make it into the top 5? I think she's going to get exactly 5th place, so she'll just barely make it into the top 5. So yeah, that's my pick. That's my pick.
Well, I feel like it's very definitely possible. Cyan is a pretty good team this event. And plus, she's been doing quite well recently, and I think definitely top 5 is in reach. I don't think top 3, but 4, 5, or 6, definitely around where she'll place.
All right, and that's all our this or that prompts, so let's hand it over to Mystery and X, who are doing some Fantasy Frenzy.
And welcome to Fantasy Frenzy. In this segment, Mystery and I are going to be given 2 games, and we're going to try and predict who we think the top 5 are going to be this MCC for each of them. And what is our first game?
It looks like it's going to be Sky Battle. Alright, so I have the first pick, and I'm going to take Sapnap. Sapnap has undoubtedly been one of the best players at PvP games this season, with Sky Battle being one of them. And he's paired with George. I think that dominance will continue.
Yeah, that all makes sense to me. You've got a pretty solid pick there. I think for number 2, I'm going to have to go with Quig, the Mr. Sky Battle individual round record holder himself. When he pops off, he really, really pops off. So second place individual certainly seems within a reach for him.
Alright, for third, I'm going to finish off the duo that I started by taking George Not Found. Once again, Sapnap and George are both amazing at PvP, so I think as a duo, they'll be able to help each other pop off even more.
I've got a bit of a throwback next, though, for the number 4 pick. All the way back in MCC 14, a certain someone on the Purple Pandas placed top 5 in Sky Battle. I'm predicting that we're going to see history repeat itself this event, and Pete will make it back into the top 5.
Alright, sounds like a good pick. And for number 5, I'll go with one half of another duo, Tommy, because I think him and CPK will dominate in Sky Battle, especially since Tommy has such a great track record, even getting first individual last time Sky Battle was played. But that rounds up our top 5 for Sky Battle. What is our next game going to be?
It looks like our next game is, to get to the other side and whack a fan. Alright, I've got first pick for this one, and I'm just going to go with Illumina. He's undeniably one of the top to get to the other side players, and back in MCC 15, he proved that he can do really well and to get to the other side, even on a slightly weaker to get to the other side team.
For number 2, I'm going to go with Dream. He's been one of the most dominant to get to the other side players as of recent, and I think that will continue for MCC 23. One thing I will say is I don't think his team will get too many team bonuses this time around, but I don't think that's going to stop his dominance at all.
Pick number 3, I think I'm going to go with CPK for this one. In the more recent events, he's been placing just outside of the top 5, so it seems pretty reasonable that he could make it into the top 5 this event.
Alright, number 4, I'm going to go with a bit of an interesting pick with Smallish Beans, because I think Purple is going to dominate in this game. However, Smallish Beans has just been a really good to get to the other side player recently, and even with Pete and Phil on his team, I think this is going to be his chance to sort of just show that he's a really good player too.
Makes sense. I could definitely see it happening. Final to get to the other side pick, I am going to go with a player who's a bit underrated and to get to the other side sometimes. Puns. He's a strong player all around, and to get to the other side is certainly a solid game for him, so I could definitely see him making it into that top 5.
Well, that rounds out our top 5 for to get to the other side, and that also marks the end of this segment, so in the comments down below, let us know what you think of our predictions. But in the meantime, we're going to go back to the desk for our individual predictions.
Welcome everybody to our individual predictions. I'll start off with the claim that Quig will secure a top 3 placement. With recent success and an experienced team behind him, he's got a lot of potential. In second, I have Sapnap as the unstoppable rage monster that he is. But there is an immovable object in first place. Pizza Hut, powered by being on the most epic duo that MCC has seen in quite some time. My dark horse is Martin, who has had a lot of hidden talent that can easily be released when he's on a team with a strong player like Quig.
And now it's my turn. In third, I have Sapnap. We all know about Sapnap's dominance in PvP games, and George Not Found is really the perfect player to help support him through all of those. With no other strong PvP teams this event, I can see Sapnap going on yet another rampage. For second place, I have Pizza Hut. After showing back in MCC 22, he still has what it takes to make it back to top 5. And finally, my first place player is the next MCC S tier, JoJo Solos. We've quickly seen her strength in both PvP and movement games. With teammates who are incredibly strong team games players, I would say that JoJo won't have a weak game this event. And finally, my dark horse, I've picked SB737. Though he's had a lot of strong performances throughout Season 2, he's always been the second highest scoring player on his team. For this event, I think he'll take the reins as the Blue Bats team leader and really show MCC what he can do.
This event especially will be dependent on the games. However, unlike team score, individual score cares not about multipliers and treats everything equally. This is why I believe that the strength of the Yellow Yaks in PvP games will result in Sapnap getting first individual, possibly by a landslide, if fate goes their way and gives them good luck. Similarly, I think Pete will take second and Quig the bronze, but it will all depend on what games are in the roster, which we do not know at the time of recording. For my dark horse, I've gone with Ranbu. On first glance, it seems like Steam's on the weaker side. However, this is precisely why I feel like it is his chance and his event to prove his skill and come low top 10, mostly through kills and a just generally solid individual performance.
Coming in third, I have JoJo Solos. Ever since she started playing in canon events, she has not left the top 10, proving herself to be one of the best mechanical players in the event. For second place, I have Illumina. He's been one of the best players of Season 2, managing to get first individual and MCC Pride. Now, while I think Lime will do great in team games, it'll be up to him to lead in PvP and movement. His mechanical skills should just be enough to get the job done. And in first, I have Pete. Sure, his last individual placement was MCC 17, and his placements haven't been as consistent since then. However, I think he and Philza make up the strongest duo in this event, which would lead to both of them dominating, especially in movement. If there's any time for him to reclaim the crown, this is the time. And for my dark horse, I'm going with Pearl Moon. Pearl isn't necessarily the most consistent player in this event, but what she's shown is that she's able to have really strong performances when teamed with another strong player, which this time she has as JoJo. I think Stein has a huge shot at winning, and Pearl will play a huge part in that.
I've heard all of you guys talking about how, Cyan's gonna do well. Why, I'm not seeing enough JoJo first places. Why don't you guys believe in JoJo enough? I'm outraged by this.
Well, I think that JoJo is definitely capable of getting first. She's an amazing player, so she can definitely do it. But for me, it's just Pete that stands in the way. Because these two are very similar going into this event. They both have really strong teams, they've both had really strong performances, and that's just how it is. However, here's where the difference separates for me. JoJo has never gotten first before. Now, do I think that means she's never going to get it, it's going to be her curse? No, of course not. She's bound to get first at some point. But I think with Pete, he's faced the pressure before. He knows how to get to first individual. And with all of the hype going to the team that he's going to be playing on, I think first individual is just his to grab this event.
I am going to continue to be a JoJo believer, despite the good arguments that I'm hearing, because JoJo is going to come first.
Well, I'm going to abstain from this debate as we transition over to our next segment. Convince Locky. Wait, Locky? Does anybody know where Locky... Hold on, where's Locky? Can anyone try to... Hello, everybody. My name is Locky. Yep, it's your favorite Aussie. Oh, hold on, wait. I mean, g'day, mate. Hop on your transport kangaroo and fetch me some Vegemite, but stray away from the pesky emus. We have 3 contestants here who will try to convince me of what will happen this MCC. And first up, we have the one and only X. What is your pitch?
My pitch is pretty simple. The Purple Pandas are a scary strong team this event, and they are going to win. They're really one of the only teams that I can see this event getting 3 players into the top 10, and on top of that, they've got an amazing leader with Mr. Pizza Hut himself. G's VOD reviewing is also going to be super useful on this team, especially helping the team in games like Sands of Time and Grid Runners. And of course, it would be remiss to not mention this team's specialty, movement games. Expect top placements in Hole in the Wall and Rocket Spleef as the Purple Pandas move into Dodgeball.
Oof, you had a really strong argument there. Like, they do truly have 3 players that could get in the top 10, and they're such a good movement team. They're gonna have really great, like, synergy, team chemistry. I don't know. I'm a little bit up in the air, but I'm liking where you're going so far, and I'm gonna have to compare it to what the other 2 have. So let's move on to Sheep. Ultra Sheep Lord. What do you have for me?
G'day, an actual Aussie here. You see, the distinctive thing about teams this event is that a lot of teams have a specialty. Like, some teams are really good at PvP games, some at movement, some at teams. But this means order is going to have a massive effect, making it hard to predict until the actual day. Because of this, Decision Dome will become highly competitive and there's a good chance we'll get a good mix. So, I think the winner of this event will be a team that is balanced, and I think that team is Orange. They're not the best at any game, but they are up there in most of them, and this balancing out combined with quite strong as well as Quig being Quig, I think Orange is going to win.
I definitely see where you're going there. Quig has been doing really, really well recently, and Martin has been doing pretty well in Season 2. Orange is a strong team, although right now you're competing so far with the power of the Pete and Phil duo. You know, Philzahutt is such a strong duo, but Quig, I want Quig to win so badly, and I don't know what to pick out of those. Mystery, I'm really hoping that you can make my decision a little bit easier. I hope you just have the best argument so that I can just pick you and not have to think about it. Please don't disappoint me.
Well, you see, Lockie, as the reigning champion of this said segment, I am going to defend the Stein Coyotes, who I like to call Illumina. And is Illumina on this team? No. But what is Illumina? A ninja. And ninjas are silent but deadly. They are here to dominate. Because first of all, you have team games. Everyone on this team is going to be really good at team games, especially False and Pearl. And with JoJo's abilities as a leader, they should have amazing chemistry. Then you have movement and PvP, categories that not only Scott, but definitely JoJo are known to be amazing at. So when you look at it as a whole, you have strengths all across the board. No matter what game you throw at them, they're going to dominate.
Oh, Mystery. You gave a good argument. I do feel like Cyan is probably one of the most well-rounded teams out there. They don't have a weak player. Like, everybody on their team is capable of doing really well. But again, I feel like they're just going to fall a little bit short in a couple of the PvP games or movement games. And I feel like a lot of other teams are going to want PvP and movement late. So again, it's a really tough decision. We have 3 very strong teams, 3 teams that I would love to see winning this MCC. I'm gonna have to take like a few hours probably on this just to think about it. Well, yeah. So let's fast forward a few hours and I'll get back to my decision. All right. After carefully deliberating for what feels like a few days now, I think I've come to a pretty confident decision. Mystery, you gave a rousing argument with Team Illumina, but honestly, I was just turned off by the fact that Illumina isn't on the team. And between the two of you, X and Sheep, it's Pete and Phil versus Quig. And I'm sorry, but I can't ignore how epic the Pete and Phil duo is, so I'm going to give this win to the one and only X.
Hey!
And congrats to X for his first ever convinced Lockie win. And thanks for coming out to the pre-show. We hope to see you during MCC. It's going to be a fun time.